Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today we'll be reviewing Framing Britney Spears. So Framing Britney Spears is a new documentary that just released on Hulu that was put together by the New York Times, and it follows the story of the early days of Britney Spears and what became of her and how she kind of had this conservatorship over her by her father, and it was really, really interesting.
Yeah, I've been a Britney Spears fan since her early days, Baby One More Time days, and I have stuck through everything. Pretty much the documentary wasn't anything like new to me. I knew a lot about it because I knew her hardships, her downfall, everything, and I was still there. And it just shows how bad the media was back in her day.
Yeah, it was really interesting to me as someone who is not a Britney Spears fan. I mean, Noelle's like a mega fan, so I've seen Britney Spears 3 times now because I go with her, and we went to the Las Vegas residency. She had her tour that she did about a couple years ago. So I didn't know anything that really went into it. I just knew the bare bones things of what she went through. But having it seen all in this timeline and everything that's gone on with her, it's just captivating. Like from beginning to end, I was fully captivated with this documentary.
I'm actually happy like this came out. I feel like a lot of people didn't know the in-depths of like her life and what happened and why she's under this conservatorship, which, I feel like she shouldn't be under anymore. Hashtag free Britney all the way. But it was super interesting that a person of her stature, so popular, could be under this like super strenuous like thing that's holding her back.
And it's so interesting when you're watching it, especially as someone who doesn't know anything really about Britney Spears and how she rose up and became such a icon, became such a sensation, and then having it kind of all taken away from her, really from things that weren't even in her control.
Yeah.
Like when you go back and you watch how the paparazzi treated her, I had no idea. Like, because I'm not big into the celebrity sphere, especially back in the late 90s, early 2000s. But the things they did to her, and she was just took the blame for it constantly. She constantly took the fall for it. And it was so interesting to watch that she never really stood up for herself for the longest time. No. But then when she finally starts to stand up for herself, that's when she kind of gets labeled.
Crazy
they say she's crazy and she can't control her money and all this stuff. And man, it's so fascinating from just a human aspect of it, because you're watching it. It's a celebrity, so it has that lens over it, but just as like a human idea of being that famous and being that successful, but then being told, you can't have what you've earned, basically.
I also love that they had Felicia, who's been her longtime assistant. She is so nice. Met her in real life. I did the backstage tour and everything at her Las Vegas residency. She is the sweetest person. You can really tell, like, when she's interviewed, like, how Britney is. Like, she has, like, that same, like, humbleness that she, carries. And she talked about a story when she first got her paycheck. She drove to Louisiana and she went around and took $10,000 out of her account and gave $100 to each person she saw on the street. I mean, that's just Britney in a nutshell to me.
One of the more fascinating aspects of the documentary is how conservatorships work and how when they're used and when aren't they used, and the justification for this one in particular. I didn't even know anything about conservatorships. I didn't know that they existed. I kind of just assumed it was something that was around. But having it on someone who isn't basically in a vegetative state, someone that isn't completely inept, can't do anything at all, it's so strange, the justifications. When you dive more into it, because now I've become fascinated with this whole concept, and you read articles, now everyone's interested, and it's on CNN, it's everywhere, and we're talking about what really goes on behind the scenes. How does this stuff happen? I would love to just know the secrets of how they justify doing this, because there has to be more. Like, they constantly kind of dive into that her lawyer's like, there has to be something here that they don't know, because there was the medical reports and things like that. So on the same side, it seems crazy, but there's got to be something, right? I mean, something.
No, and I completely understand why it happened when it happened. That was Britney at her lowest point. She had just a mental breakdown. Who else wouldn't have a mental breakdown at that state? And I completely understand that. On multiple worldwide tours. She does stuff in the air. She does all this stuff that under a conservatorship that a normal person shouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting that there's a line in the documentary where they justify trying to get a raise, like the people that are in control of her money, because she's doing so well. I'm like, how does that work? She's like doing such a good job that you need more money to control her money. Like, it was just so crazy, like the justifications, and it's clear that there is some malice behind the scenes, particularly with her father. I don't know the extent of it. I mean, it is a documentary, so it is obviously skewed to a certain viewpoint. And I'm getting just through the lens of people that want to help Britney Spears.
Yeah.
But man, it looks bad.
I also saw recently that her boyfriend, Sam, has come out and made a statement against her father, who's under her conservatorship. And you see Britney on Instagram posting these little hints where she's not really saying that she knows that this documentary is going on, but she's
Yeah.
basically also supporting her fans for, coming to her defense and everything. It's a very weird situation, and I just honestly cannot wait to the day Brittany comes out and be's like, I have this wrong with me, and
Yeah.
this is what's been happening. Because at this day and age, mental illnesses are so like broad.
They're more understood and more
Yes.
accepting.
Mm-hmm.
People try to help people instead of just dismiss them as crazy
Yes.
or something like
Yes.
that. So I would be interested to see how this plays out in court, because I know it's
Mm-hmm.
opening again. I know just
Mm-hmm.
recently. And also there's a rumor of another documentary that was more sanctioned by Britney coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we're going to have this whole year is really going to dive into this. Now that the national spotlight is on this situation, I know the Free Britney movement was like a big thing and it kind of grew and grew, but then it fizzled out, it
Mm-hmm.
seems, for public support. But I feel like this is going to really take people like me that really don't know a lot about it or understand a lot about it and be very interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that there is some progress and some more understanding with what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I'm also just loving the fact that she's getting all the recognition that she has
Yeah.
done in the music industry. I know a lot of people know, like, she has smash hits and everything, but I feel like now more people are more connected to her.
It's someone who is not a Britney Spears fan growing up and seeing her like amazing success and having to appreciate what she's done in her career. Like as a kid, as like a young boy, I'm like Britney Spears. It's like she was like a joke. Like the media made her out to be
Yeah.
a joke, and you kind of like, oh, she's just crazy. And you see the footage of when she shaves her head and is attacking the paparazzi. But when you really see what she went through and why it led to that point and where we are today, I appreciate her whole career and everything that went on with her so much more. So I think people that aren't even Britney Spears fans should probably watch this documentary because, like I said, it works on just the human level. If you're not a Britney Spears fan, you still have compassion for someone who went through this.
Mm-hmm.
And man, they're just so horrible to her. And like,
yeah, the media was just absolutely terrible.
I mean, I was one of those people that was probably when I was like, 10 years
like
old.
2006.
So like, I was like, oh, she's a celebrity that's just crazy, the crazy celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't realize like what actually went on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. So this sums up our thoughts on framing Britney Spears. Let us know down in the comments what you thought. Are you a Britney Spears fan? Have you been a fan since her Baby One More Time days? Let us know down in the comments. We always appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.